All right. Well, waiting for our main commentator, Kyle, to make his way back over. For those that know Kyle, we're sitting on the park bench next to the courts, but his house is literally 100 yards away. So, got a good match here. The JOHNS brothers. Immediate side out. So they're facing Daniel Moore and Aldo. I don't know how to pronounce Aldo's last name, but don't think Ben touched the ball there. Kyle was asking if we had a decent match on this court, but I'm pretty sure when he walked up here, he could see it was a pretty good match.
Ben and Colin here on court 2. Just on the other side of them, we see Riley Newman and Tyson McGuffin playing Wes Gabrielson.
Rare missed return.
Aldo is a young man from Mexico that Daniel Moore has been training for a couple years, he and Scott Moore.
Yeah, good kid. He's from just above Cabo San Lucas in the Tres Palapas facility.
I see you got my cliff notes on him.
No, actually, I'm heading down that way in about 3 weeks. So I got the pleasure of getting on the court with Daniel and Aldo just a couple of days ago to warm up and practice. Played a few games with him, and so he's helping line up a fishing charter for us.
Oh, that's great.
Good kid.
He does seem to be very. That's what pickleball is. A lot of people who just say, "Well, I could do things outside of pickleball with them." That's why we have all these friendships made. That was a great jump, good movement.
Daniel's always an interesting story as well. For those that don't know, he resides in Japan the majority of the year. I think he has for, I don't know, it's forever, for a long time, but he literally comes back here, hasn't played any competitive pickleball, warms up for a few days, and then comes and competes at a high level. It's impressive.
Yeah, he has had a long history of good results here. It's getting tougher and tougher, like we've talked about in other matches. These players are now having to play 6-7 days a week to be at the professional level. It used to be, backyard pickleball, do it on the weekend, but now people like Ben, Daniel has an immense amount of talent, but people like Ben are just putting their whole life into this.
Yeah, it's impressive to watch him come play, though, with virtually no practice or playing. He's teaching a lot of pickleball in Japan, so he's playing against amateur level players consistently. So,
and timing again at this level, knowing the speed of the ball, the angle they're putting at, and when you're feeding balls all day long, it messes with your edge. Nice shot by Colin.
Yeah, good finish by Colin. The ball is just a little high from Daniel and Aldo's side of the court.
Colin came in and filled in for Jay, playing mixed doubles. Yeah, Jay DeVilliers. He played mixed yesterday with Andrea Coop. Now today he gets to play with his brother. I expect them to make a pretty good run into the draw today. Another nice
shot.
I think the first few times I watched Colin play with Ben, Ben played a lot of mixed doubles and men's, but in the last year, Colin has gotten, the spin serve got Daniel there. Colin has a formidable opponent. Not that he wasn't
Yes.
great, but he's now become where Ben is not playing next anymore. Ben
Yeah.
has the respect for his brother.
He certainly has definitely seen more of the ball so far in the early part of this match, and I'm sure that he will. But he's handled what he needs to handle when he's getting the ball.
You can see Daniel has probably not seen many spin serves over in Japan because he's struggling with those returns. He's having to jump sideways.
I think somebody's phone was going off. If you put your bag right next to the pro court, make sure your phone's on silent.
Yes. Well, great leap by Ben, but great defense by Daniel. Ball's out. Get another point on the board for them.
2-5-1.
That's a classic Johns point where they just put pressure on the other team until they're able to finish it off on their feet. Day's warming up a little bit. The sun has come out some. We have mostly clear skies, but still, like you said, a perfect day for pickleball. Tough for Aldo there.
I think Daniel called no, but I don't think that ball was hit with enough pace to go out of bounds.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
He just had his paddle down, expecting to dink, and Ben put it on his shoulder and caught it a little late. Daniel's playing pretty aggressively right now.
Good finish. Put a lot of pressure there. I kind of like Daniel and Aldo's jerseys they got going. They got their names on there. I don't know if the live stream sees the back of their shirt very much, but
Well, there's a story behind that.
oh,
John Golo, the founder of Tournament of Champions, spends time down in Mexico and has met Aldo and does a lot with the Moors. He's brought a group of players up here, and on their jersey it will have the American, his foundation, the nonprofit that he has donated to many great causes over the years. Good drive by Daniel there.
yeah.
And so the American Dream Foundation by John Golo is sponsoring these players to bring awareness for that. So Aldo played yesterday with a young lady here, Allie Phillips, from around here, who's an up-and-coming female player. And they first round match were playing Irina Tereshchenko and went to 3 games. I think they were close to even having, not match point, but right there with them. They were high school, right up there close. So it was great exposure for Aldo, and I'm sure he'll come back next year even that much better. I think he's just 18, maybe 19 years old. Boy, Ben
Cutting his teeth still.
Yes. We think Ben is, one of the old experienced players in the game, but he's only 23.
23, 20. Yeah, I think 23 is what we were just talking about.
So while Aldo seems young, 10 years from now, Aldo will be 28. Well, Ben will only be 33. Point for Collins and Ben there. 6-4-2 is our score now. We had Ben and Simone here for their first match of the day. They had a bye and then played into a team that already played a match, and Daniel and Aldo have played a match already, I believe. And it took them, it was 13-11 in the first game. It took them a while to get going, and kind of, I'm not saying that Daniel and Aldo aren't a great team, but it's taking them a minute to get the Johns engine going all the way. So 4-6-2.
It is probably depending on the players. I know for me, it is a disadvantage having that first round bye. You earned it, so you take it. But it's difficult when a team has come off of 2 or 3 games. They're all warmed up, ready to go, and you're coming in. Even if you've warmed up, you just haven't got that gameplay in. So
we're early in the day, so the crowds have not completely started filling in our venue, but this people are starting to realize that Court 2 is having the high quality matches here, and we have probably 50 to 75 spectators watching this match. First match of the day for Ben and Colin.
Well, if you're in the area and you're not here, you better hurry down before all the parking's gone. You have to park up on Main Street on Brigham City.
let's talk about all the great things we've done with our facility. Amazing, beautiful. The city has just really bought 100% into pickleball. Our mayor came down yesterday and gave a great speech about what pickleball has done for our community. But if you wanted to talk about our one shortcoming, it was parking. So they're gonna address that, as soon as possible. But for right now, come early.
Come early and carpool.
Yes. Well, there's
Daniel put a little. He had the shot. He was up shoulder height, but just put a little too much on it.
And kind of like we said with Ben in the past days with Colin, he's played mixed. Daniel's playing a mixed level of play. He's jumping in front of Aldo. Not that it hasn't worked on several other points, but Aldo was in the way there because it was a ball normally he would have hit.
Yeah. Aldo needs to stay aggressive. He's very athletic, and he's a pretty aggressive player. Like I said, I played a handful of games with him the other day, and he's still getting there. But his aggressive play is difficult sometimes to play against. Obviously, that's a different level when he's playing against Colin and Ben. But I think him staying in what's his strength is going to be best for their team.
So, interestingly, when you are an aggressive alpha type player and you're playing with another alpha type player, it can take you out of your game. Like that's a ball I'm normally going to attack. I start to swing at it, that guy's there. So then the next time you think, well, I guess I'm just kind of watching him hit, and your partner doesn't go for that ball, and you really can play with him. So playing with a partner for the first time, obviously Aldo and Daniel haven't played a ton together. Trying to get those timings down. Boy, good bang rally.
Yep. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, I'm a big fan of having the right partnership over just skill level.
Aldo did a great job of covering. Daniel called the switch on it, but Aldo got not quite back to set, so Colin just drove it into his body, and Aldo wasn't able to block.
He got stuck in a chicken wing. Coming from a guy that's been stuck in a chicken wing many times, I know what that feels like. 8-4-1. Looks like that, but scoring points on you.
Ben's been there's the end of this first game. Ben's been really gracious with us here. He's had some good conversations. We did an interview with him. I've probably shown it between matches. We're always thankful to have Ben come out to the Tournament Champions. He's had several good runs at the tournament the last couple of years. Our brackets get so big, we actually do something different than all the other tournaments do. We'll have qualifying rounds to get into the pro events if we have over 38 teams in a bracket. Ben last year gave his spot of those first 38 spots. We actually do 32 and then qualify in for the last 6. Lost his spot, gave it to his partner that he was splitting with, and had to play in our qualifier. And I say last year, I mean 2019. Yeah. So he brought in a new lady, Jessie Irvin, at the time. She hadn't really been on the scene.
Yeah.
They won the qualifier. Good for them. And then they won the entire tournament.
Yeah, so they did. I was here for that.
That was
kind of her coming out party.
Yeah. She I think took second in women's that year. Lost to the Waters. All right, 0-0-2. Or 0-0-1 now. Southside continues to win. We'll see if Southside can do anything here. If Daniel and Aldo get this game, we really do know the Southside has something going.
Oh,
first
right
point.
Down the middle.
Yeah.
But the little gap in the middle, Ben got pulled out a little bit wide, and it just opened up a spot.
All right. Settling it up.
That was an example of Ben just kind of lulling them, if you want to say lull them to sleep. He just hit 3 soft, simple dink shots, and then just a little bit more pressure to Daniel on the last one. He was pushing a little too hard there.
0-1-1.
Riley Newman coming off the court. Looks like his match had just ended. Daniel did a good job of towing the kitchen line, being just off of it. I love watching referees when they keep their head down on that line to see if anyone's getting a foot fault. We haven't had many called in matches here on court too, but I've seen them throughout the weekend called here. And you know, lots of times in recreational play, you're not watching your own feet, and you think, "Wow, I'm doing pretty well. I'm winning lots of points." You go to a tournament, get 6 foot faults called on you. It will change your day.
Yep.
I have had the opportunity to go through the certification process to be a certified ref, and so I appreciate all the hard work that these referees do. And as a referee, the game inside of my game is I want to try to get a foot fault call. My goal is to be so focused on that, making sure if they're doing that, we get that. I had a match in a tournament I refed at earlier this year that had 7 calls in one match on one team, 4 for one player and 3 for the other. And it got in their heads, absolutely. I mean, after the match, I said to them, you probably should play a few recreational games with your friends and have someone referee you so you know how often you're in the kitchen. It was a 5-0 level match.
That's frustrating. I always make a point of it. Anytime I have a finished shot in rec play, I look down at my own feet, making sure that I'm not on that line. Although with that said, I had 2 foot faults yesterday. They were both off push-offs off of a lob.
Yes.
Push-off, and I was halfway back on the court, but I never reestablished one foot.
So many players don't understand. If you leap from that kitchen, your foot's on the line because you're standing in the correct place, but then as you get ready to go backwards, you have a slight movement forward, your foot's on the line, you leap, hit the ball, and then your foot comes down, and you're in the middle of the court called for a kitchen fault, and players have a hard time. Boy, that was a perfect return.
Perfect,
deep,
right on the back line.
Heavy, and while they think, oh, that needs to be a rule change, you can do that. No, that is what a.
No, absolutely, yeah. A little deep by Colin, out of bounds, second server. The hard part about the push off is you can't ever catch it on your own in rec play. So it's because you're not standing there. If you've got a finished shot, you can look back down at your feet. But it's something that a lot of players probably need to work on.
I'll tell you, the gentleman that got the most upset with me at it was in the gold medal match I was refereeing. It was a fellow named Dave Weinbach. He called him twice on it in a match in St. George, and he was befuddled that he could have a kitchen call from the middle of the court. But
how dare you?
You know how colorful he can get. So
I'm pretty aware of his colorfulness. I got a little too much on that one. That was just out of bounds.
Again, in rec play or even 5-0 play, that might be a good shot, but I would have just set that ball into the kitchen, got my partner up there. You're not going to drive balls that are going to be in past these two.
Yeah.
That's a much better ball, keeping it low on their feet, and just be patient. There we go. I like this construction of a point much better.
Well, we said earlier, this is our style of game.
And I think as we go through the day, though, you'll see more and more points played like this because the higher level players will stop the power game.
Well, that depends. They got to test the waters. If it's effective, keep going.
Yep.
1-1-1.
All right, we're at 1-1-1. This has been a longer, more defensive non-scoring game than our first one.
1-1-2. Slide out.
So, speaking back on the provisional rules, we talked about the spin serve. The drop serve, from the people I've spoken to, seems to have been successful helping players that struggle with a serve is going to stay as a permanent rule. And I think that's a good thing. Again, in the spirit of pickleball, we want to get a point started. We want to be able to get a serve in, and if that helps you do it, it's not getting any advantage. So,
Yep.
I think we'll see the drop serve stay around.
I would definitely like that. I teach a lot of beginner intro or beginner pickleball to players, and we always try to get them to do to learn the regular serve. But just like you said, if they struggle with that, it's an easy way for them to get going, get the point going with the drop serve. I think there were a lot of examples of people trying to take advantage of it early on, but I don't think it ever created that any competitive advantage. I've personally used it when I've had any kind of serving yips or lost a little bit of confidence. I've used it a couple times.
Took the statement right out of my mouth. Is we've seen lots of people they go through for whatever reason a struggle, and you can just say, all right, I want to play a point, not just have it shank off to the side. You just drop the ball, and it's much more like a ground stroke. Boy, there's a little bit of a rally going here for the South Side.
Yep.
South Side's winning again.
Well, I mean, I got on the center court with Kyle and a young man named Kel Klein, and that gets your nerves going a little bit. So I had to revert to my drop serve. Also, for a lot of people, if they want to do a backhand serve, dropping it onto the surface first allows you to get a little better shot on a backhand. If you want to do a backhand serve. 7-1-2.
Quite a run here for him. Yeah, I mean, Ben made a couple unforced errors. There's been a couple good drives. What happened right there with Dan was like, okay, let's keep this going. And he took a backhand that he didn't catch out front, hit it hard. You want to get another point, but when you have those rallies at this point, my opinion, your opponent feels the pressure. Just make them continue to play. Make them hit one more ball. So we're 2-7.
Then we just had an out serve by Ben. Seeing some interesting unforced errors. As we mentioned, though, for Ben and Colin, it's their first match. It's now in their second game, so Ben still hasn't hit that many balls. So
great deep serve by Daniel. Colin did get up there and set. Bang, bang.
There's a display of what Aldo has kind of in his arsenal. He's got really quick hands.
As you know, in pickleball, the rule has changed that a net serve is a live ball. Ben saw both gentlemen run to corners. Aldo had right, Daniel had left. Ball was in the middle. Nice drive by Aldo. Easy block for Ben. They found a few up the middle like that.
Yeah,
Daniel's been probing that area.
9-2-2.
You're at 9-2-2.
9-2-2, commanding lead.
Well, they have game point on their paddle. This would be a minor upset if somehow it turned out this way, but again, I would say South Side seems to be the dominant side. Oh, Aldo wanted to finish it there.
Only a guy that can claim home court advantage here would know that little tidbit of information. I've noticed I only see certain courts that Kyle plays on at this facility.
The one that's closest to my back door typically is the answer.
Just out.
We know that Ben and Colin are capable of going on a large run. We'll see if they can try to come back from this 3-10 deficit.
I'm going to guess this is maybe the first time that Aldo's played against these guys in a tournament. I don't know if he has on another one, but what do you think about his demeanor? He looks pretty confident.
Sometimes, yes, and obviously your personality helps with that, and sometimes not knowing that you shouldn't be in a match. is helpful.
Yes.
I've gone to nationals before, played when I was first starting, played against teams, found out afterwards like that they were previous national champions, and I said, oh, it would have been good to know before I was out there thinking I was going to win. And you know, we actually pulled off a couple of those matches because you're oblivious to that.
He caught that ball back a little bit behind his body too. Ben's done a few different variations of the spin serve. If you saw that last one, he's had his whole body turned a little sideways. I've seen him change the variation of the way he's hitting that.
Yes.
Timeout.
They're making
6-10.
that's the right time to call this timeout. You still have a decent lead.
Oh, Daniel's a seasoned player. He knows when to slow the flow.
Absolutely.
Anybody's watching that's curious how the timeouts work, the paddles that get dropped into the court spot is some people have thought that's a rule. It's not a rule, but it's a good strategy. Make sure you come back in the court at the right spot, especially if you're doing any kind of switching with your partner, stacking. So. Colin and Ben didn't. They set their paddles back against the fence on the side they were going to be on, but typically the players will keep the ball under the paddle for who's the server, so you come back in the right spot. Another unforced error. 10-6-1, game point. Aldo had exactly what he wanted there. Daniel serving 10-6-2. That'll be the game. So 1-1. We'll be going to a third game. Kyle ran off. All right, going to game 3. This one, if they'll switch it, they'll switch sides at 6. For those who've been listening, Kyle's mentioned that the south side, for whatever reason, there's not really any wind, but for whatever reason, has had a significant advantage in the last couple of matches. But they'll switch it for the first team that gets to 6. Good finish by Daniel. Colin left it up just a little bit high, and he was all over it. If you're in the Utah area watching, you should come up here and see this live. It's a whole different experience than watching online. Just the speed and the pace and the opportunity to watch the best players in the world live is just amazing. That's in Brigham City, Utah. I think Kyle was saying that Christy Wolford wanted to get on the microphone as quick as possible.
We do have Christy here with us. She has been the heart and soul of this tournament. Without her we wouldn't have this. We'd have me with a clipboard writing down a few scores somewhere, but she has turned this into a venue really that could rival anywhere in the nation. I've been a director of the Nationals tournament, and it's a beautiful, amazing place, but I'll tell you, I enjoy this just as much. She's made this into an event center, and the community has really responded. I expect today, as long as the weather holds out, we'll have just an awesome crowd to watch these amazing finals matches again. And we're already building large crowds around the venue right now.
As I mentioned earlier, I mean, it's better every year up here. There's always 2 or 3 additions that you all have added in. It's just incredible. Yesterday, most of the players were treated to a little barbecue dinner after plays. They were watching the gold medal matches on center court. So that was a nice touch.
And that was 100% Christie.
That's awesome. Well, Daniel and Aldo controlled that line. Ben and Colin never really made it up there, which gave them a little bit of advantage there. Oh, just a little light. I was just about to say that Aldo's had some good patient dink rally. He was in the middle of a good dink rally right there, but then he looked like he slowed his paddle swing down a little bit. Kind of like a golfer that doesn't swing all the way through.
Point. 502.
502. That was good, right? You see that good? Oh, was that? It was out.
I think it just missed.
So that'll be the side switch we talked about. This is a best of 3 games. In the third game, if they go to the third game, which these guys have, then they automatically switch it at the first team that hits 6 points. And if Kyle's South Side prediction comes true, we're at 6-0. So Kyle, we expect to have a barn burner for the second half of this game.
The South Side's been dominant, but it I don't know if it's dominant enough to take on Ben and Colin. But I predict at least a few points to be scored by the South Side here.
I have a feeling I could play Ben and Colin, and I could have 0 kitchen, 0 non-volley zone, and the score might still be 11-0, 11-1. That might be a fun thing to test out. Readjust a kitchen line for a handicap.
There's 6-1.
Well, they got their side out on the switch. Oh,
He had a great dig out there.
Daniel's got a big smile on his face, like that's exactly what I meant to do.
Or if I could do that 10 more times, I would.
1-6-1.
Well, South Side scores.
I couldn't see.
I think it was out. I didn't see Ben make a call.
Yeah, they're going to 1-6-2.
1-6-2. That out. Six, 1-1.
All right, 6-1-1. Colin serving to Daniel. Deep serve, deep return. Colin worked his way up with 2 nice drops in the kitchen. Ben's going to usually win that battle.
7-1-1.
7-1-1. Just a little bit of a mental error there. Got to give that. He had his opponents a little bit back in the court. There's no reason to hit the net when you've got that much space. right down the middle. That middle shot, when both players swing at it, I like to call that the pinball shot. You see two paddles swing at it, but it goes right through the middle of them. Oh, Daniel, what a grab off the net. That takes a lot of focus.
One. Point.
That one ended with a point, but one really great shot there. They didn't get the point, but Ben had a awesome reset. He just absorbed the blow and let the ball drop back in the kitchen in the middle of that rally. Makes it look easy. It's not.
Good.
The south side is starting to get a little bit of pace. You can see a little more pep in their step now, too. 3-8-2. Oh,
Maybe too much pep.
Christie just jinxed him. So Kyle had him going with the south side, and Christie jinxed him. Oh, they kind of fought over that ball.
Point.
The middle got him in trouble.
9-3-1.
Ball was placed right at Ben's feet. He's got good double hand defense right there, but Daniel put a really good shot to the right spot. Looks like Aldo got that around the post. Little trick shot on display.
3-9-1.
Kyle, between yesterday and today, have you seen any what you would call kind of upsets or major upsets?
Well, yes. I mean, and we had it on these courts a couple times. Local players, Kurt Carlson and Lila Rawlings. I think if you would have asked them the other day if they won one or two matches, they'd say it was successful. They made it all the way to fourth place in a 32-team bracket. So
took home a paycheck.
Yes, they
took
did.
home a nice paycheck. So yeah, I watched one of their matches. They're playing great.
Yeah, that was Kurt just coming onto this senior scene. I think he's a formidable player. Not known, obviously. He hasn't really traveled anywhere, but he plays like a 30-year-old.
Yeah,
so.
I was going to say you look at him and you would never guess he's over 50. So I think Ben just saved an out ball.
He
there.
did, and then ended up costing him.
Yep. Yeah, they had a nice run. Good for them. Got him a little paycheck.
3-9-1.
Kurt, don't blow it all at one place. Such a good backhand little flick.
So we talked about the lateral movement where you go back and forth with your partner. Daniel had pushed all the way out, so Aldo covered the middle. Daniel decided to hit his dink hard cross court. Aldo still was in the middle, and Ben just put it down the line. So as if you want to learn something from that, I would say when your partner has covered for you in the middle and you want to cross court dink, go ahead and cross court it to the middle. Don't go all the way over that line. Your partner doesn't have time to get back and cover.
Or it's got to be shallow. It's got to be shallow in the kitchen if you are. So they've got time to get back. But
we're on match point here, 10-3.
10-3-1.
I would say Ben and Colin would be happy saying, hey, we got pushed in our first round match, made us feel a little bit. Now we'll move on.
They're getting in their groove.
They don't necessarily feel that they won't remember that they lost game 2 at any other point during the day today. Obviously, Daniel and Aldo are going to continue to fight, see if they can continue this on. I've seen games come back, probably not against Ben and Colin, but it's possible. They're making.
They're getting the ball back. And they're on the south side.
That's right.
Yeah, back to that play you were talking about. I mean, you see a lot of mixed doubles, especially that the guy squeezes over into that center of the court. And if that is the case, that you're offensively playing kind of a squeeze play, it's important to keep the ball straight ahead, or at the very least in the middle, because it really exposes you when it goes cross court.
I agree, exactly. Aldo with an attack. Like you said, he's an aggressive player. If he can get into that groove, it's just a matter of how many times he can get that. But this looks good for them. Aldo took both of his first-round matches in mixed and men's pro to 3 games against well-known teams. See if they can extend this one a little further.
14-3.
Ooh.
He's got a little quicker hands than either you or I, Kyle. I'm not saying you don't have quick hands, but
I would take his hands for sure.
he's got some good youth and athleticism.
And there's our match.
Good for him. It's cool to see him here from Mexico playing. So, like I said, I got lucky to get on a court with him. Played 3 or 4 games the other day. He's a good kid. So, good luck to them the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think you'll see them make some noise in the back draw. It was fun to have Colin and Ben on our court. We'll see what we get for our next match here.
I would say good luck to Ben and Colin, but I don't think they need the luck. So,
yes, they just don't want to trip on the way up to their where they're waiting for their next match. All right, thanks.